You're listening to For Real Radio with Bria, Julia, Kayla, and Michael on WHITradio.org, the sound of Hudson County Schools of Technology in North Bergen, New Jersey. Okay, good morning everyone and welcome to our first For Real show of the 2013-2014 school year. It's good to be back. I don't know about you guys, but I'm pretty excited. I know it's going to be a great year, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Hello.
So today we're going to cover the ongoing crisis in Syria. We're going to cover some new controversial iPhone security and a story that hits close to home, a fire that engulfed the Seaside, New Jersey boardwalk. Bria, tell us more about that.
A fire that apparently began in an ice cream shop in Seaside Park on Thursday afternoon and swiftly consumed several blocks of the boardwalk that connects the shore town and neighboring Seaside Heights, as well as buildings along the walkway, was finally brought to heel about 8 in the evening. The speed with which the flames engulfed the boardwalk fanned by 30 miles per hour the winds.
Jeez, that's awful. Jersey just can't seem to get a break. All right, though, Julia, tell us about this controversial iPhone security.
Okay, well, the iPhone 5S does come out September 20th, and it added a new security system, which you have to use your fingerprint in order to get into your phone for safety reasons. But people are actually having problems with this because they feel like someone would hack into their identity. Being your fingerprint is isn't supposed to be the only thing that could really determine who you are.
Mm-hmm.
So they're questioning Apple, basically saying, is it really a good choice to do so?
All right, yeah, that's a reasonable doubt. Okay, and now the ongoing crisis in Syria. Russia and the United States will meet later this month to discuss a possible diplomatic solution to the crisis in Syria. U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry said from Switzerland on Friday, where the two nations are holding a second day of talks about Syria's chemical weapons. Kerry said they would meet around the United Nations General Assembly on September 28th. The Secretary of State said that conversations with the Russian delegation about Syria's chemical weapons had been constructive and would continue Friday. The possibility of progress in the planned talks in the New York Diplomatic Center will largely depend on whether negotiations in the next hours and days over Syria's chemical weapons succeed, Kerry said. Syrian President Bashar al-Assad demanded Thursday that the United States call off any potential strike on Syrian government forces before he gives up his large chemical weapons arsenal. But Kerry made it clear Thursday in comments on his first day of negotiations with Lavrov that the threat of a U.S. military strike remains on the table if Syria does not hand over its stockpile. He said, "This is not a game. Syria and its ally Russia must show that they are serious about the Syrian government having its chemical weapons destroyed. Any agreement reached must be comprehensive, verifiable, credible, and able to be implemented in a timely fashion. There ought to be consequences if it doesn't take place." The Obama administration has argued for carrying out limited military attacks to hinder al-Assad from using chemical weapons after accusing his troops of killing 1,400 civilians in a gas attack. The Syrian government blames the chemical attack on opposition forces. Jeez, that's a mess over there.
Yeah, it's terrible.
And it's really not any better over here. I do have a question for you guys, though. If there are peace talks, and there seem to be the direction that we're going in, do you think diplomacy will work here, or is violence inevitable?
Well, Mr. P is going to just jump in right here, and I want to hear everybody's opinion. But it's very difficult, I think, that to be sure that Assad is going to release all his chemical weapons and will be able to confiscate them. They're in supposedly 5 to 10 different locations. So how verifiable is that going to be that he's releasing all his chemical weapons? Is this a stalling tactic? Is this a smokescreen? It'll play out. And I hope that we don't have to go to war, and I'm really praying about that. But this has to be real, and it has to be no fooling around here. get those chemical weapons on the table, out of the country, confiscated by the UN. That's my opinion.
Right, and hopefully peace negotiations do work. Unfortunately, the president has made a mistake. He jumped the gun. I remember a few months back he said if chemical weapons or their use was discovered, he would go to war. There would be a military strike. Unfortunately, he seemed to back down and pass the buck on to Congress. The one job that the president has, the one sole duty and the one sole privilege he has is he, as commander-in-chief, can tell our country it's time to go to war. And of course, he passes this down to Congress, and the worst Congress that the United States has ever seen. Not a smart decision on his part, and of course, no progress in Congress.
Well, he not only didn't have any support in Congress, he really didn't have much support of the American public. I think something like 70% do not want to go to war with Syria. They don't want to get embroiled in another civil war. They don't really see it as a threat to the United States at this time.
Well, and of course, after such a bad taste they had after the Bush administration, I'm even a little skeptical about that. Do I believe Obama's in it for the same motives as Bush was? Absolutely not. We have an actual crisis on our hands, and it needs to be solved. But I do understand the hesitation of going into war, especially a ground attack.
Sure.
That would be bad.
Yeah.
The last thing you want to do is have Americans die.
Absolutely.
Right.
You know, so far 0 Americans have died there.
Right.
So
We don't want any boots on the ground, as they say.
Right. And of course, Russia, being Russia, now looks like a peace negotiator. They put themselves in a wonderful light on the international stage.
All right. They look
So-
like the good guys here, right?
Yeah, Obama has a little work to do. We'll see what he does.
Julie and Bria, weigh in on this, please.
Yeah.
Your opinions?
Bria.
Well, I think that if there's a war, I don't want the people just to come over here just to bomb us, because that's the only thing I'm scared about. It's just like if they threaten us, because it affects all of us and stuff. I'm just afraid about that. Like,
And when it comes to attacking Syria, we need to also understand that we're not just attacking Syria, we're attacking its allies. Iran has already threatened to get involved, and we don't need another war in Iran. Julia, what do you think?
Well, I don't really know much about what's happening until Mr. P updated me, but from what I could tell, it's pretty serious, and it could affect us, and maybe it won't, but hopefully they just make peace and call it a day.
Right, absolutely, and like Mr. Tapiro said, we don't need any more American
Yeah, there's no
citizens
point
dying.
of
Right.
there's no point of losing innocent lives for something that could have been fixed or prevented. or-
Hopefully, peace negotiations work. Another story I want to look at, though, and like I said, it's something that's close to home. This fire down in Seaside.
Oh yeah, that was
This
terrible.
is
That was
awful.
shocking too.
after
like-
they just rebuild it after Sandy, everybody just
Yeah.
wanted to go back to Seaside to chill on
Right.
the beach and go to the amusement park and stuff like that. But now it's ruined.
Yeah, everything that Hurricane Sandy didn't take away, it's just now gone too. Like, it's terrible.
I don't know, were there any injuries or fatality? I didn't.
No, they said that some firefighters had smoke inhalation,
Right.
taking off the fire.
See,
The governor said he feels like vomiting, because the state's put so much money and effort into rebuilding that area,
Right.
and now it's gone again. So
at this point, it's just disheartening.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, our morale is low as it
Yeah.
is, and then this happens. This is just,
Yeah.
geez, this is really awful.
I agree.
I mean, we've said this once before, but hopefully they can get back on their feet swiftly.
Well, yeah, it's
you know?
it's just disheartening, as you say, and Bria, do they know who started it or how it started?
No, I'm trying to figure that too. Like, how did it start in the ice cream shop?
I'm sure they'll look
figure
into
it
it. They'll
out.
send in a team, right?
Yeah.
And Julia, so apparently Apple is putting this new fingerprint detection, I don't know, gadget on the iPhone 5 to
It's supposed
Unlock
to
it?
be, I guess, to benefit them
right
or.
convenience. Yeah.
But I don't think it's a good idea personally. Like, to give someone my identity and like hope they don't mess up or there isn't like a glitch in
Right.
their system. I don't know. I just don't feel. I wouldn't feel comfortable with that being out there because
Right.
it's my fingerprint is mine.
Well, here's the thing. I've had this laptop at home for about 5 years, and one way to unlock it is you swipe your finger,
Yeah.
and it unlocks, and it's very convenient. And to be honest, I don't feel unsafe or as like my identity is at risk. But I guess it is easier to lose an iPhone.
Yeah.
But I don't understand how there would be a mishap where you could say put your fingerprint in and unlock my phone. Is that what they're afraid of?
I don't know. It's weird. Like, it's just, I guess technology is just, updating itself, and they're trying to sell a new product and make it more interesting, but they should just keep it as it is.
Well, Apple's always trying to be user-friendly, so anything that can make it easier and more convenient to access, they certainly will look into. Personally, I don't think it's a bad idea. I saw something now that, I don't know, is it an HP phone or something like that? It reads your eyes, so the screen follows you where your eyes are.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's getting really
That's amazing.
high tech. Yeah,
Yeah.
High tech.
high tech. You like that?
High tech and high tech.
Yeah, I like it. What do you, Bria? You like it?
No.
No? Tell me why
I
not.
think it has something to do with the government watching you.
The government, you want
Especially
those
with the fingerprints and the, I don't know about that.
conspiracists. I mean, they have our fingerprints anyway. Your fingerprint, my finger, it's all on record. So I don't know. Whatever you think it is.
I'm good with my iPhone 4S. I'm keeping it the way it is. So I'm good.
Well, all right, guys, you heard it here from Syria to your iPhone to the fire down in Seaside. You heard it on For Real Radio. Thanks, everyone, and tune in next time.